there's that old thing that goes, if you work in something that you love, you'll never work in a day in your life and all that. Well, it's kind of half true, in which I like working on cars, but I'd never be a mechanic. Because I would hate to start a job and know like I'm one bolt away, or this thing's gonna break and I have to leave it because the customer doesn't want to do the work or they can't afford to do the work. You know, one of those deals. So that would drive me nuts. So I wouldn't want to do that. Plus, there's all the training in it and all the other stuff and all the constant education, whatever. But you know, I do like working on cars, so it's a little hobby. That's what my plan of retirement is. I got a big house with room to fit 5 cars inside, and I can work on my cars, and that's pretty much what I want to do for retirement, you know. And I'm quote semi-retired right now, and I can like do that, and I got the plan. And then there's but I still want to be physical because being healthy is important. So I just do a warehouse job, you know, simple as that. That's where I'm at right now. I just do a warehouse job, and then on the side, I also like going to these auctions, so I'm reselling. You know, that's what this whole business is me reselling stuff, you know. And I like doing the hunt, you know. It's fun to do the hunt and all this. So, yeah, so there's my 3 things. You know, I got working a manual job to keep me physical, you know, not crazy hours, only like 40 hours. It's a mindless job where I can actually do other things while I'm working. Good place. I've been here over 5 years, you know. Bit of a commute. It's like 35 miles, but where I'm at, it's 35 miles from one big city or 30 miles to the other big city, 35 miles to the other big city. You know, I probably 30 miles north and probably 30 miles south. I probably got about, I think I did it one time. I think it's like 1.5 million people around my home, which is good for business. You know, but that's what it is. So there's the plan, you know. So I got a basic job I go to, pretty much keeps me fit, keeps me healthy. I got a side hustle or whatever the hell you want to call it, a side business, and that keeps me making a profit and doing what I love while making a profit. That's the important part. You know, you got to still make a profit. I ain't making a much profit because I ain't working terribly hard. I'm only doing like 4 or 5 hours. Actually, the last couple of days I've been building this AI thing, and I haven't been listening to a dang thing because it's an incentive. But you know what? If I don't have this thing done in 2 days, I'm going back to listing, and then I'm going to drop it down to maybe like 2 hours a day instead of I've been committing like 5 to 8 hours a day on this thing, and I'm getting it, but it's taking too long. So I'm gonna have to cut that down to about 2 hours a day, and if it takes longer, it takes longer, but I'll build it. But you know, it's one of those things where that's a whole new skill. That's something I'm learning for the business. But it's another thing where I gotta throw this out, so I have these things out, because you can't make any money if these things are sitting in a pile. But yeah, so that's another thing I like doing, is buying stuff and reselling it. Simple as that. A little bit of an environmental thing there too. I like the environmental aspect where it's not a brand new product that's made from who knows what, who knows where, and all that fun stuff, you know. So we got that going on. But just have a plan like that. I mean, maybe you got to work, or maybe you can flip that, and instead of doing 5 hours on your side hustle, you're doing 5 hours on your job that's giving you health insurance. Maybe you're working a part-time job, but it's giving you health insurance. Mindless job. Maybe you're doing a, get the sun going on here, whatever. Maybe you got a part-time dealie where you're only working like 5 or 6 hours a day. That's giving you health insurance. It's not giving you a whole bunch of money, you know, but you're getting health insurance out of that. And I don't know, private health insurance ain't no joke. So like, there you go. Maybe you're getting good benefits even though you're only working like 20 or 30 hours. And then you can actually, the rest of the time, oh God, I don't even know what it is. Let's say 60 hours easily. The other 60 hours, you can be committing towards your side hustle, and maybe your side hustle is going to have to, at that point, your side hustle is going to make more money than your part-time job, if you flip them. I'm not there yet. I ain't going to be there for years, and I know that. And part of that is I like this physical job. I go to the gym for 8 hours a day. Who else can say that? Who can say that they're forced to do that? I force myself to do that. I almost never take any vacations. This is an easy job. I'm lifting probably 3,000 to 3,000 pounds a day. I'm probably walking about 2 miles. I'm it keeps you fit. That's what health is no joke either. You got to stay fit. So if you're sitting in an office all day, maybe you do a side hustle that keeps you fit. Maybe even though you work a office job, maybe on the weekends your side hustle is landscaping, just to stay fit, and you're forcing yourself to do that just to stay fit. Maybe you do a side hustle as snow plowing in the wintertime, and not as physically demanding but still physically demanding, not as much as the landscaping guy, mind you, but maybe you do both, and that keeps you fit year round and keeps you healthy, because not being healthy is going to cost more than anything. If you're sitting in an office all day and in a chair for, let's go 5 hours at a time, let's just go 4. If you're sitting in a chair for 4 hours a day, you take a 1 hour lunch, you get back in there, you sit for another 3 hours at a minimum. You're sitting there, you ain't doing a ton of movement. It's mentally stressful, mentally working, but yeah, you got to find an outlet to stay healthy in that regard. And what that is you're probably paying to go to a gym and all that. I don't know, my gym pays me, bud. Oh man, my gym pays me. I don't do that, the same thing with a part-time job. If you're working an office job, maybe you get a part-time job for like 3 hours, and that's your gym. So you don't have to play around with that. But, it's one of those things too. You also have to like what you do. I like physical labor. Like, my resume is full of physical labor. I like physical labor. I don't mind getting dirty at the end of the day. It's one of those things too. If it's not for you, maybe you can find something else. Maybe you can be physically working on a factory job. You just got to move around because some of that's repetitive. But you can be driving a high-low in a warehouse, and that'll keep you physically fit, a little bit, and if you get off the truck and such. But stuff like that, it's one of those things where you make it work. But there's more aspects to just doing something that you like. Like I'm saying, the whole thing. I like working on cars. I always have. I like learning about new technology. I like learning about the new cars. But I would never be a mechanic, because that would kill that whole love of vehicles. It would. Somebody can relate. Somebody's probably a mechanic and they can relate. Yeah, I absolutely hate it. Or, if you like doing something, you're going to be forced into a position where it's going to become mind-numbing, or it's going to take the fun out of it. That part of the fun of it, of a hobby, is, if you want to do this, or if you find an issue with the thing, you should fix an issue with the thing. Instead of, nope, can't go any further, gotta call it. Or flip that, you work on something for 5 hours and you only get paid for 1. No. No, we're not playing that game either. So, maybe you gotta play around. Maybe you gotta find something that works for you. But, yep, there you go. A little bit of rambling, is what it is. But yeah, do what you gotta do. Do what you love. And if you don't want to do that, what you love is working, that can be a hobby. Maybe you got to figure out something to be your gym. Maybe you got to figure out something to be your side hustle on top of that gym. Or you flip it around, the gym's here and the side hustle's there. Anyway, thanks guys.